Welcome everybody to episode 15. Shoot, I forgot the episode number. 16?
16. Yep, episode 16. Start over?
I put the wrong... I'm just gonna roll with it. That's on brand.
This is a good start.
I know. Have I ever restarted those? Never. And I won't start now. Thank you, everybody. Hashtag on brand. Yes. Welcome to episode 16. Thank you very much of RPGs Anonymous. I am Zachary, your GM. I'm gonna pass it that way over to that one, the one in the top right corner.
I'm gonna be playing Carl.
I am Shane Goose Bailey.
I'm Dr.
Go. Okay, I'm Tyke Stevenson.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today we are going to start off with a scene. Well, actually, let's do a real quick recap. Last time, the boys finished up most of their questions with the Oracle, who is this member of this crazy underground organization called the Order of the Deep Candle. They asked them a bunch of questions. Goose found out that his wife was murdered, and some BS happened, and the guys decided to go to a room and plan what their next move was, finding out that Goose's wife was basically murdered by IS Corp, this evil corporation, so they're going to take them down. They did some planning, did some talking. Tyke passed out, as he is wont to do, and the boys posted a video, essentially saying, we're going to reveal this giant conspiracy related to UFOs in 8 hours, which is the start of the UFO festival in Portland. And then they showed a partially redacted document that Goose stole from IS Corp that said a bunch of stuff about relating to Roswell, that kind of stuff, a bunch of redacted stuff, very spooky. And then it ended in a timer. And they posted that on Goose's UsTube page, which has a pretty decent following. So the boys sort of like after that sort of head to bed, and where we actually start is a scene in a house. I don't think we've seen this house before. It's sort of older looking, maybe like it was built in the between the 20s and 40s or so, somewhere in there. But right now it looks relatively well kept, at least. Goose, why don't you describe the dining room of the house that you and your wife shared before you were enlisted?
I think it's maybe a little generous to call it a full dining room.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a earlier, like just starting off couple, I think. So it's like all very well taken care of and nice, but definitely a humble looking abode.
Yeah, I think what I want then is describe a piece of furniture that you guys have in this place that you guys ended up keeping into whatever houses. So like just a piece of furniture that you guys kept basically your entire marriage that we're seeing right now that's in this dining room.
It's like a purple cloth ottoman.
Okay. So I think we're seeing Goose, a young strapping Goose sitting on this purple cloth ottoman. In this dining, again, I guess it's one of those like dining room kitchen combos. It's very small. Like the actual dining room is like, what, I don't know, 25, 30 square feet or something like that. And it's attached to the kitchen, directly attached to the living room. What is Goose kind of doing on this ottoman?
That's a good question. I think
You're waiting for something. So what are you doing to like idly pass time as you're waiting for this thing?
He's like flipping and playing around with like a coin just between his fingers.
Okay. So Goose is flipping this coin, and we from the front door opens off screen, and we hear it close, and we see a woman enter the picture. Colby, please describe Goose's wife.
I think she's... Wow. I just realized how weird I feel about describing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's real bizarre, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. What are people gonna read into me from what I come up with?
Yes, you're describing a fictional woman that your character married and loved. What does that mean? What does that say about you? Yeah, it's weird as shit. But I'm gonna make you do it anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, say shoulder length brunette hair, although with an undercut on the side, and also very bright and deep, but they're like blue eyes instead. So very deep, striking blue eyes, and
I'm guessing not sky blue. They're like cobalt, like really deep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like it would be creepy for you to see those eyes in the dark, but any other time, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think the camera sort of focuses on her eyes for a moment, and they're a little bit hard to read. And then it like flashes back, and we see her. She's wearing this sort of like matte yellow sundress with like a floral pattern on it, and she's holding a small bundle of envelopes with one letter in one hand and a bundle in the other. And she holds this envelope out to Goose, and the camera sort of focuses on the front of it, and it says. Let's see, what it basically says like it's from the U.S. military.
Okay.
Goose, you open up this letter, and I want to know, this is one of two things. This is either a draft letter, or it is a letter saying that you passed your physical exams and are accepted into the U.S. Armed Forces. Which is it?
It's a draft letter.
Okay. So I think Goose hesitates for a moment, and then how do you react when she hands you this?
Was it already opened when it was handed to me?
No, it was sealed.
It was sealed. I think he, like, even as she was like coming in, was flipping the coin and like tossing it, like rolling it between his fingers, and he was even doing that as she was handing it to him.
Yeah.
And just as soon as he reads it, and it doesn't register at first what it is, and he just like looks up at her kind of confused, and then as like what is happening hits him, he like just drops the coin and like holds the paper back out to her.
And I think the camera focuses on the coin dropping and settling as she walks over, and you can tell that they embrace, and everything blurs behind the coin as it turns and settles onto the ground slowly, and we cut back to present day. You guys have just taken a bit of a nap. I wouldn't call it a full night's rest, but we can treat it as such.
I'd appreciate that.
Also,
what were you saying, Zed?
Before everyone else wakes up, I would like to interact with Fitz by waking him up.
Okay. Ooh. Very cool.
A large claw under his chin.
Okay.
Ha! We're gonna have a chat.
Okay. Don't look. Don't do anything you're going to regret.
I never do.
What? What do you want?
I just want you to know I can do this whenever I want.
Duly noted.
Yeah. If you ever hit me with that little thing again, I will end you.
Maybe we can compromise.
Yeah, do you want to get back to your friends at IS Corp?
I'm actually not concerned with that right now. I'm concerned with my friends here.
Okay, they are friends. Never mind. Offer off the table. I was going to help you.
Look, just stave off your bloodlust for these 4, I guess, including the one you're inside, for a little bit longer, and I'll owe you one. You should know, because of your, I guess, lengthy existence, that I might be able to help you out.
Deal.
And with that, he actually passes out and falls on top of you as the black fire starts to melt away the flesh.
So I think we turn back to Fitz, and he had this like sort of steeled expression on his face, like sort of like calm, cooled, collected, and that just absolutely vanishes, and you just see his eyes like go wide, and you can see the sweat beading off of his face that you couldn't quite see from the perspective before, and you can see that he is like physically shaking, like shaking isn't even enough, it's trembling, as he moves Zed now instead of Barazel off of him, and sort of gets up, and he walks over to the kitchenette area in this place and makes a cup of coffee, and we see him pacing, and I think we see him pacing for a good long while before everybody wakes up to the sound of loud but not unpleasant, not abrasive chiming. That sort of seems to reverberate around the stone. And it goes off. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 or so chimes that happen. What do you all do?
Morning, everyone.
I think by the time like the chimes hit like 4 or 5, Goose has just already silently gotten up and is like starting to fold his blanket back into the correct position.
So I was gonna ask, how is Tyke sleeping? Because when I left, he was
Face down.
sleeping like, yeah, but like across all, like everybody else's sleeping spot on the bed.
Yeah, so Tyke is the only one that doesn't wake up. I don't know if you remember last episode, but Tyke does not wake up. And you all probably notice this after a moment. We'll get to you in a second, Tyke.
Oh yeah.
He
completely forgot about that. Awesome.
do 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 he. What a gift you've given me. Yes, Tyke does not wake up. Carl, I think you notice this the most because you're probably the least like naturally morning riser of everyone here. But it is like an hour after you went back to sleep, after you guys went to sleep. Like this was a cat nap, for sure. I don't think you guys were intending to sleep like a full night, because again, you have 8 hours until this thing pops off, whatever that is. But you were definitely probably expecting to sleep longer. You have no idea what these chimes are. It's like an hour later and you are feeling it really bad. What do you do?
Try and make coffee out of Mountain Dew.
There's coffee brewing already. Actually, Fitz started making it. There's like a little French press or whatever, and a magic kettle that heats water.
Imagine that. I will definitely just get a Mountain Dew out of the fridge and wait for the coffee to be done.
Okay. It's done. Like I said, Fitz has been up for like 20 minutes at least. So he had coffee ready for you guys, basically.
Lovely.
Yeah. Guess I don't know, peek out the door or see if like anyone with the long candle? I forget.
Order the deep candle. So yeah, Goose, you go over to the door again. It's this beautiful, heavy mahogany door with these like iron bands around it. Think super medieval. It's totally opaque, so there's no like windows or anything. So you open to peek out of it, and you see coming down the hallway actually is one of these robed figures. They look like they are coming to address you. What do you do?
Look back to Carl and say, pour 2 more cups.
Okay.
And I just leave the door open, and like before they get there, I just like wave them towards us and leave the door open and walk back inside.
Who started drinking coffee that I'm not aware of?
I assume these robed figures. Hey, people with this group are coming to talk to us, I think.
Oh, that's why we need more coffee. All right. Well, I guess I can do that. Do they drink coffee? Do they drink?
I guess you'll find out. Wait, so
I shout back out into the hallway. Do you all drink coffee?
No.
So when you say that, Goose, the person approaching sort of like raises a robe appendage and says, "Oh, I didn't think those would actually wake you up. You guys have not been asleep for very long. Hey, it's me, the ambassador. I'm good. I don't need coffee as such. Unfortunately, I'm coming to talk to you guys about some stuff that's happened while you've been here. You guys all awake and lucid? Everything okay? Good to chat? You might want to take a seat."
Carl tries to hand him a cup of coffee because he wasn't listening.
He sort of like waves his robe arm at you. He's like, "I'm good, thank you. But I appreciate it. Yeah."
Tyke, wake up!
Yeah, he's not. He's
And
nothing.
take one of the mugs over to Tyke and like move his hand so it's like holding it upright, and then like smack him on the butt as I walk away.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Yeah, Tyke is super not waking up.
Just drop the mug on the floor.
I think because you're laying across the bed, I think he like puts it in your hand. So now your like unconscious body is like laying there with your like nose right next to the coffee with like this cup sitting there.
Okay.
It's very funny.
Okay.
It's a beautiful tableau.
That sounds like it's gonna be a disaster. I'm just gonna smell like coffee the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm hoping that whenever you wake up, I'm gonna probably make you roll, and if you get any disadvantages, I'm spilling that coffee all over you. I'm looking forward to it so much.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's not going to be able to
Alright.
sit upright. He's going to have to roll over to
True.
sit up. So the mess will be, on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyke is super not waking up, and the ambassador has come to talk to you guys. What do you do?
I drink coffee from 2 cups that I have in my hands.
One in each hand.
I arrange chairs into a circle, but can I like pick a chair that has like extra drag or sits lower and position that to be the one that he sits down in?
Of course you can, yes. Okay, so you guys like get in a circle again. It's this like sitting room area with the little kitchenette attached. And he sort of like you gesture to him, and he like looks at it, like the hood turns down, and he looks at it, and he looks back at you, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And he sits down in the chair that is like it's more of a stool. It's like a good foot lower than the rest of them. So there's this like 8-9 foot tall robed figure sitting in this tiny stool, all scrunched up, with all of you like sitting in these normal ass chairs. And I assume everybody except Tyke obviously goes and sits down.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the standard coach one leg on top of the bureau.
Zed,
Yeah.
of course. Zed, are you doing something with Tyke? Is that what's going on?
Dad's gonna like peel back his eyelid, like check his eyes, and like try and see if what's wrong with him.
Yeah, roll me. I would like you to roll me a medicine check. It will be daunting, upgraded twice, but you will get Yeah, so 2 red, 2 purple, but you will get an extra blue die because you have dealt with this kind of before with Tyke.
Yeah. Okay. 3 successes, 1 triumph, and 1 threat.
Holy shit. Okay, very cool. All right, so we'll resolve that in a sec. We sort of cut back. Zed is over there, so Goose and Carl, you are, and Fitz, I guess, you are sitting in this semicircle with the ambassador, and he says, so while you guys were doing your planning session in here and resting, whatever you were doing, the Oracle has passed. We're not 100% sure what happened, but basically we have to do an investigation, so we need you guys to leave. And also, there's some weird stuff going on right now, magically, so if you can avoid using any of your powers while you're here until you leave, that would also be great. Otherwise, it could maybe set some stuff off that could either like kill us all or, turn us all into sheep, or, I don't know, make a bunch of flowers appear. It could be anything. Just, we would like you to be very careful. So if you guys could get ready to go pretty quickly, then it'd be really great. Thank you so much.
So those are very specific examples. Do you have people turned into sheep in those volumes of historical data out there?
Mr. Nelson, I can't deign to speak on behalf of the historian, or the scholar rather, but we likely have examples of most magical phenomenon happening. This world is very old.
So those books aren't light reading.
Oh, absolutely not. The old scholar, I won't, again, I don't want to go too much into this because scholar's pretty sensitive, but the old scholar, he had a little bit more of a narrative style, but it's been like, I don't know, close to 1,000 years since his stuff has been written. So the new scholar is a little bit drier read. But yeah, it could be a lot of different things. That's all I'm saying. I of course can't speak to the details, but if you guys could get ready to get out of here, that'd be great. We just need to remove as many variables as possible.
How did he die?
Yeah.
That would explain their investigation, I think.
Yeah.
I could perform an autopsy.
Well, unfortunately, I
on an alien? Have you done that before?
First time for everything.
Huh.
I can't really let that happen. Unfortunately, we have some policies. You know how it is. Like, we're a secret organization living, a couple miles under the normal surface level. It's we're very careful about making sure that we're not found out. So we kind of need you guys to pack up and leave.
Goose, is that how secret organizations work?
Is it how they work?
This is not surprising, but I don't know. How do secret organizations work? They're secret. They're organizations. I assume they're at least as bureaucratic and red tapey as normal corporations, plus some, if not like to another whole other level. So I don't know.
Okay.
Probably. It seems reasonable for a secret organization to be like, oh, somebody died right after you guys came here. Get the fuck out so we can figure it out.
I'm surprised they wouldn't want to detain us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's kind of what you think. You think the ambassador is kind of like, we mostly trust you guys and you're kind of not a threat, so we're gonna let you go, but you need to get the fuck out because otherwise we're just like, you're like, it could be much worse than that. Like, it kind of seems like that sort of situation. So how do you guys respond?
Go.
I take a drink of coffee.
Okay.
Like, at that moment, when he says that we need to leave, Pike starts snoring.
Okay,
like,
yes.
really loudly. Just like...
I love that.
Oh, buddy. and I'll walk over and like take the coffee out of his hand, feed him over my shoulder.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
you guys get ready to go. Okay, so with that, we're going to cut back over to Tyke. So Tyke, if you remember, you are in a glass orb in a dark room with a bunch of strange, colorful spirit-like things, ethereal somethings swirling around you, with a bunch of these weird voices in your head, these like strange inane conversations in your head happening, just about the most boring, unuseful stuff you can imagine, and you are just sort of like, you can't feel your body necessarily, you're just sort of like floating in this space. What do you do?
Yeah, so I haven't gotten any of my strain back, right?
Oh, probably not. No, not at this moment.
Okay.
So
Can
basically,
I, like, float around.
Yeah.
Like navigate.
yeah, you can like
Okay,
float
I'm
around.
gonna try to like swim towards the glass.
Okay, yeah. You're
whatever this
actually
orb thing is.
you're able to move relatively easily. You kind of feel like you're like a gas. You're kind of just like floating slowly. So you like float towards the edge of this like
Totally know what
glass
that
bubble.
feels like.
Yeah. I mean, we all can relate to how it feels to be a gas floating in a bubble.
Yeah, be a
So-
cloud. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can easily float towards the thing. Let's say if you do want to cast spells while you're here, just you can take it out of wounds. If you want to do that instead of strain. So if you do end up wanting to cast spells, you can do that. So yeah, you float to the edge of this glass sphere, and you see that you can see just a little bit out into the room, and it's this weird sort of archaic study area. You can just see the corner of a bench with a cup with like a quill, and a piece of like actual vellum parchment, like this really old, like insane looking thing to us anyway. And there are a couple of books and a few like weird glass baubles and like strange implements that you don't recognize. What do you do?
Is there anyone talking close to me?
Almost certainly. One of the other guys, what is this conversation that is the closest to them? Remember, think
I'm asking Carl, can you even turn that off? And I like motion towards the weapons.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is a conversation. Okay. Cool. This is all right. I like this. This is where I was going originally, but yeah, this is a conversation between Carl and Goose, at the bar, and Carl is like messing with. This is before he has the flail, and it's just the crook, and he's messing with the crook, and Goose is just like, "Can you even turn this off?" And like Carl's like, "I don't know, dude. This is brand new," and like obviously this is coming for like this is a conversation that happened immediately after like the horrors, while you guys were just sitting and chilling at the bar.
Can anyone sew me up?
Yeah, that's also, and you hear like Dave in the corner like, Zed, it's all right, man. Like you should be fine. Like, can't you sew yourself up? Again, this is back when Dave was the only one that was like, this is obviously Zed. Yeah. So yeah, there's this conversation that like we obviously happened off screen because it was totally uninteresting. That was happening in the bar, probably a little bit after the broadcast, after you guys killed the first set of horrors and stuff between you guys in the bar. That's what's happening nearby.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to communicate telepathically with Goose.
Okay.
Like this current Goose.
Okay, yeah, roll. Oh my god, this is so wild, guys. All right, yeah, roll extrasensory.
Yeah, I'm really curious where this goes to.
Me too.
How many dice? Just tell me how many dice.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be insane.
Paradox, and the timeline's gonna collapse in on itself, and that's how the show ends.
Man,
Hey,
you guys.
this is how we deal with an 8-hour timeline. We just go back to an earlier point in the story.
Oh my god, the curveballs are just unending. Okay, this is 100% daunting. Again, you're dealing with the Order of the Deep candle, so you're gonna upgrade it twice. So 2 red, 2 purple, and You're going to take wounds to cast the spell. What you would normally take in strain, you're taking wounds. And
chat is reminding me that I have the
oh my god, yes.
thing that adds 2 black.
Okay, perfect. And 2 blacks. So 2 reds, 2 purples, 2 blacks. I was
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about trying to add 2 black anyway, but that works perfectly. That's amazing. I love it. Especially because this is before we established that, like, Tyke established the conference call thing, like, for solidly. So this would be like before Goose is like letting him in all the time. So yeah, 2 reds, 2 purples, 2 blacks.
Yeah. Man. I'm also, this has nothing to do with technology either.
Yep.
No.
Wait. So would I do it? Okay, whatever. Okay. I was like, no, I should send a text message to his phone. Like, it's, I don't know.
That's not gonna work.
Alright.
Yeah, just roll it. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm totally gonna fail. This is gonna be awful.
That's okay.
Oh.
Oh.
2 successes and 2 disadvantages.
Okay. Okay.
Furnace across so far.
All right. So you get 1 sentence. What do you say?
The disadvantage, one of the disadvantages, Carl talks at the exact same time, so Goose hears both voices.
Yeah, dang. What would I, man, what
And
would I
the
tell
like
him?
servers trying to take my order as well.
Dave's in the corner. What do you want?
Oh, IS Corp is evil. And it's incepting. Like, that's
Oh man.
just how he's known that IS Corp has been evil this whole time.
Guys, I hate you so much.
What?
Okay, yeah. So I think yeah, you say this and I think you just like see Goose's like face, like you don't see, again, these are like these weird like it's kind of like listening to a podcast in another room that's really echoey. But you can kind of also see like these weird shifting vapory forms. So yeah, I think you kind of sort of like feel like Goose react a little bit to that thought, but like but he doesn't, like, it's not like he doesn't go like, oh, somebody's talking to me in my brain. It is kind of like you can tell he reacts to it like that's sort of like his inner voice. When you do that, you see outside the bubble, the door to this chamber opens, and light a little bit of light sort of comes in, this like candlelight, and limping and breathing heavily, you see the Oracle step through. They are holding a candle again, like it's like the robe ends and there's this little bit of empty space and there's a candle basically floating in front of his hand, their hand, excuse me. They open the door and they just stumble in and close the door quickly and slump back against the wall. And you can tell that they're breathing really, really heavily. But now there's this candlelight in the room and you can see it sort of like the whole chamber is a little bit well lit up. You can see that there's a bunch of these different things throughout the room. It's this circular room, I guess more of a cylindrical room, that sort of like mirrors the orrery room that you were in before, but instead of the weird big contraption, there's just this single glass orb in the center, which you are currently inside of. And there's all of these different weird baubles around. You can see there's like a traditional looking crystal ball on one of the desks. There's, vellum everywhere. There's a bunch of different books. There's a mirror that is all like misty and has like this swirling like vapor mist thing in it, which is creating all these weird forms. And the Oracle is slumped against the door on the inside. What do you do?
Alright. I don't have my character sheet with me. I'm trying to remember how much wound I have, just period. There's like 8+ brawn or something like that.
I can look it up. I think maybe I don't know for sure.
I think
Okay.
it might depend on your specific subspecies or like whatever you took.
Archetype.
Official character. Do.
Okay. Well, I think it's 9.
Yeah, and you
No,
shouldn't.
it's really low.
I think you're only down 3, so you'd be down 5. So you have 2. I'm just gonna say you have 2 more spells left until you are essentially down. You obviously you won't be dead,
Okay.
but you will be at your threshold.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real messed up. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Man, yeah, I'm gonna try to heal him.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay, Zed, do you know off the, or actually this would be a Carl thing. Do you know off the top of your head what, actually no, it'd be divine, and none of you have divine. Let me look. Let me find it.
Look at it.
I'm not very well studied in divine because none of you have it. So give me just a second. I'm just gonna see if there's like a real quick thing on it, and if not, I'm just gonna, fudge it and figure it out. Weird War. Come on! Where are the things? Magic skills 70. Thank you. All of this I'm cutting out, so it doesn't matter.
So, like, can Carl turn it off?
Can Carl turn? Oh, can Carl turn it off? Oh, he's yeah. You guys do that conversation while I'm doing this.
Yeah, if I remember right, we had this conversation originally. I just walked over to the door, chucked him outside, and sat back down, and they were already in my hand again.
That's true.
The crook. I'm like, no, I can't turn this off.
Healing is a primal skill.
Oh, that's true. It is. Yeah, I just read that. I'm not seeing difficulty, so I'm gonna just use essentially the medicine stuff. So this person is at their wound threshold.
Well, I'm doing like a psychic heal thing. Like I'm using mind over matter.
Okay.
Like Ray healing the giant snake thing.
Yeah. What I mean is for the difficulty, I'm gonna use the medicine thing, just because that has a codified difficulty. So since they're at their wound threshold, I think it's hard. Nick, do you remember off the top of your head if that's true?
Yeah, if you're at your wound threshold, I believe it's hard.
Okay, so it'll be hard.
3 purple.
Yeah, that's 3 purple, and I'm throwing a bunch of extra stuff your way. Also, I'm going to add. I think I'm gonna upgrade it once because you are super not in a position to be doing this, because you're in a super thing. So it'll be, and I'm also gonna add a black die because this is not a thing that psychic magic can do very well. Like it's naturally like not super easy to do that. So it's gonna be hard. So 1 red, 2 purple, 1 black.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not very good at this either compared to other things.
That's okay.
You just have to believe in yourself.
It's
just have a guess, man.
I got 1 advantage.
Fail.
Cool. Okay, this is it
was just. I don't know. I guess the successes and failures were a wash.
Yeah, you need at least 1 success to succeed. If it breaks even, it's a fail.
That's perfect. Yep. Okay. This is a clutch advantage, I'm just going to say. So you reach out with your mind to try and bolster their wounds, and you see as soon as you sort of start to touch them with your brain powers, and try and I don't know, whatever, stitch up their wounds or bolster their life force, you feel the oracle's voice in your head saying, Tyke, don't. step back and only watch. What do you do?
I'm gonna step back and watch.
Okay, so yeah, you retreat back to the bubble, and a moment later, there is a faint glow in the room. This like twisted, dark purple energy. It's very like terrifyingly similar to the distortion in the air that brought the horrors. And it rips into the room and in like a vertical slash and opens. It's much more well defined than the ones that the horrors came out of. They were like chaotic and sort of black hole-esque and swirling and jagged. This one is pure and rigid and very like focused. And it opens up in an ellipse, and a person in a black robe steps out. They are average sized, and this is a different sort of black. It's like, whereas the Order of the Deep candle is like this matte, cotton, dusty black, sort of a black that makes you feel comfortable. This is the sort of like deep, void black garment that makes you afraid. And you see, they step out, and they are facing away from you, and you just hear a "Hello again, Oracle." And you feel the Oracle sort of, or like you see the Oracle shudder. You can tell that they're too weak at this point to speak. And the person that came out of the portal raises a hand. You can see they have a hand gloved in black, and they raise it to them, and this dark purple energy begins to form in a ball in front of them, and then this ray of purple light shoots into the chest of the Oracle. And before your eyes, they shrivel and disintegrate from the outside in. Just, it looks like they are being atomized. And then this person laughs, just a deep evil laugh, like, and turns back towards you. They raise their hand again, and the portal opens up, and they begin to step through. And as they do, you see just on the lapel area of the robe the words IS Corp. And then, Zed, you wake Tyke up. So you are, what is the thing that you're like messing with the coffee, you're doing stuff. What is the thing that actually like wakes him up? I'm interested in it being comedic.
So I reach into my bag and I pull out smelling salts. They always do the trick, and I like jam it up his nose.
Yep.
Like extra, because he's being difficult.
Yep. I mean, that's what did it last time. All right, and bolt upright, Tyke. You jolt out of the bed, and you are awake. This is like moment to moment. Like you see this person step through the portal, and then snap, you are awake. In this bed, you can smell coffee. Everybody's like in a flurry, getting ready, and Zed is like half carrying you, shoving smelling salts into your nose. And you are hurt as hell. You may regain 1 strain, for your rest. So let's say 2 strains, so you can cast 1 spell before you pass out. And what do y'all do?
I haven't seen you in this condition in a while. Let me try and do something for you, and I'd like to try and medicine check him.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. This will be.
You should have some painkillers in the bag.
Yeah, I've got the biofoam and stuff.
So, do you want a biofoam or do you want to just medicine?
I'll just do medicine.
Okay, so I think it's just 2 difficulty because he's not at either of his thresholds now.
Yeah, I also think my entire body looks lightly bruised.
Ooh.
Just don't know how else to like convey taking damage while I was asleep.
I really like that, actually. I really like the idea that your body's a little bit bruised. I think you like look pale, and you like look like you have really deep circles under your eyes, and you look like you have been awake for like 48 hours straight. You're really pale, you're a little clammy, and like, yeah, there's some like bruising all over you. Yeah, I dig that.
Like, is it a bunch of like one like bruise, 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 or is it literally all just your skin is one bruise? You basically just like are a shade darker.
I mean,
think.
I don't want to alarm you, but this might be my most favorite roll ever. That's 3 successes,
Oh my
a
god!
triumph.
Down a little bit. Down a little bit. Down a little bit. Holy crap, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's 3 wounds, 6 strain, and what's the triumph do?
I think I just want him to be all better.
Okay.
Just feel good about yourself.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
I call this my feel-good concoction, and I just inject him.
I got it. No. This is way cooler. Okay, so you
You'll like this in the morning.
So what is this concoction made out of? I'm interested in it being sort of herbally or alternative-y, like.
So Zed is super into like the alternative Chinese medicine, and so he has got like
Yes.
some, and like tea leaves that he's like ground up into this, and like
You just inject me with tea leaves?
like mushrooms that it mushroom extract from like these exotic mushrooms that may or may not have a name.
How do you have a license?
Hey, he does real medicine.
Do you know how hard it is to get licensed medicine when you run a free clinic for the homeless?
That is actually
hard.
That's a really good point.
Gosh.
So yeah, I think you inject this thing. I think I want to know in this moment, how attentive is everybody to each other? Just like how much attention are you paying each other, or are you like sort of rushing out the door, kind of, so to speak?
Carl's still sitting on the bureau drinking coffee, watching. He has nothing to get ready.
Okay. What about Goose?
Yeah, he's packing up his backpack after just laying it all out in like an organized way to just double check to make sure he has all of his stuff.
Okay, so I think it's from Carl's perspective that we see this, and Carl is the one that notices this. Zed, I think you had to make this. Like, I wouldn't call it a poultice because it's not. It's like a, what would you call it? It's like a
he apothecary skill. So this is a serum.
Serum. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So I think you had to like make this in the moment. So I think we see a moment where you're like mortar pestle grinding stuff.
Oh, and he's using coffee as the liquid component.
It's so good. Yeah, I love it. So Carl, you see this. It doesn't take very long, and you notice that while he's doing this, there is a very faint golden glow around his hands and around the mortar and pestle. And it continues while he's putting it into this syringe, etc., preparing it. There's just this very faint golden aura around it. And then he injects it into Tyke. And I was imagining Tyke's bruises as these sort of like splotchy, really like faint purple marks all around his skin, sort of almost looking like a sickness. And I think very slowly we see that splotchiness fade into his normal skin tone. He fills out a little bit, so he looks less pale, and the like bags under his eyes sort of recede a little bit. And I honestly think it feels to Tyke like he just got like a good solid rest, a good cup of coffee, and maybe even some stimulants. I think you feel great. And to that end, I'm going to give you a blue die on literally everything for the rest of the next encounter, whatever that looks like. So that's up to you to remember.
I think first time I've ever seen you without dark circles under your eyes.
It's the first time I've ever felt like I haven't had dark circles under my eyes. Yeah, but I think as soon as I get injected with that, just like out of the abundance of stimulant and extra energy I feel, it's like I was putting as much effort you need to do to put into something when you're really weak, and I suddenly became really strong just as I was doing it. So I just like yell, Aya's Corp killed the Oracle.
Yes, I love it. It's like you're like taking a really ragged breath, and you're like, and then all of a sudden, like this serum starts to take effect, and you're like, IS Corp killed the Oracle. And I think the room goes absolutely silent except for like one thing that is happening that makes noise. And I'm
Coffee
gonna
slurp.
Okay, yeah, I was going that exact direction. So everything goes silent. Everybody like looks over at you, except there's a loud from Carl slurping his coffee. Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god.
And the ambassador says, what? What did you say?
I believe he said IS Corp killed the Oracle.
IS Corp killed the Oracle.
See, there it is again.
That is a bold statement. I would, if you were anyone else, I would think you were insane. Can you elaborate a little bit for me?
Goose is just staring at Fitz.
You're an 8-foot black-robed figure under the city of Portland, and you think we're insane? Huh.
Goose, what are you wearing right now?
Right now, I think it's just a plain light tan t-shirt and some cargo pants.
So you're staring at Fitz, and Fitz like with just a like straight laced look on his face, just like totally deadpan, gestures to your right pocket.
Without trying my hardest not to show any expression on my face, I just like move my hand there.
You reach your hand in your pocket, and you feel there is a slip of paper. You pull it out, and it's a $20 bill. Tyke, what do you say to the ambassador?
I was in this crystal ball, and there was Goose, and he was talking to Carl, and I told him IS Corp was evil, and then, like, I don't know if he heard me, though, and then there was the Oracle, and I tried to help him, but I couldn't, and then this big, blacker-robed figure showed up and shot him with purple lightning. I sort of think I'm crazy, too.
Okay, I was about to say, do you have a penchant for sounding insane when you explain things? Because you didn't help your case. Unfortunately, I'm kind of forced to give you more... I'm forced to kind of maybe try and believe you. Can you come here for a moment?
Yes.
Okay, so you step up towards the ambassador, and they step up towards you, and they say...
So he just says yes, and just continues to sit there.
Just stays there. Yeah.
I don't move.
Okay, I'll come to you. The ambassador like trundles over to you, steps really, really like uncomfortably close to the point that you can smell the must and cotton on from their robe. And they say, I'm not very good at this, so can you guys hear the dog?
Nope.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. He says, I'm not very good at this, so there might be some discomfort. But don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Ajax starts barking. Ajax starts barking, sort of like at the ambassador, because they raise their hands, and there's this faint reddish, orangish glow, kind of like the weird chemical sound, or the weird chemical glow from the candles. It's like the same color, kind of, and you can tell that Ajax is a little bit like flustered, like looking at this. It's a little strange, and the ambassador says, don't worry, again, it might be a little uncomfortable, but I'm not going to hurt you or anything. I need to do that. It's okay, Ajax. It's all right. It'll be fine.
I do, like, is there an insight to see what Ajax is thinking?
Yeah.
Now that we have purchased the animal companion talent,
Oh,
improved-
you actually have that. Very cool.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that say about this sort of situation? If anything.
not anything. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
just like I can command him, and I
Um,
have formed a bond with him. So
I think you can get basic stuff immediately because of the word bond. I'm gonna say if you want more, let's call it a. There's really nothing. Probably. Do. I don't know. Perception. I'm guessing perception because there just
Okay.
isn't anything else.
and that's based off cunning. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got 2 green.
Yeah.
Is
Let's
this
let's put average straight up and down basically. I mean technically I think that slightly favors you, but yeah.
2 successes and 1 threat.
Okay. Ajax is definitely on edge because of the fact that this dude is now using magic. Oh my god. Ajax has 2 different barks, by the way, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. My noise.
Ajax also has a demonic spirit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's the demon dog inside Ajax. Okay, so Ajax is on edge
Yeah,
because
is there some weird tarot card we can pull?
oh boy. Ajax is on edge because the ambassador is doing magic. I don't think Ajax is super used to that. But I think let's see. I think it's a nervousness. I don't think it's like this person is a threat. I want to tear them apart. I don't think it is I think it's just like, oh no, what is going on? I'm not okay with this. It's not this person's a threat. I need to tear their face off. So it's like, it's definitely on edge, but not super like nasty.
Okay.
But now you know that Ajax can kind of tell when magic is being used, so that's a thing. Okay, so are you going to allow this spell to be cast on you, Tyke?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm feeling great.
Okay, so the ambassador sort of like puts their hands around, not hands again, you guys don't see any appendages, but this like glow around you, and this like orange aura surrounds you, and you are suddenly back in the bubble, back in the glass orb, and you are replaying the memory of what went down while you were asleep. It's very visceral. Everybody on the outside can see the ambassador is holding their hands up, and Tyke's eyes just go white. Tyke, this is also really painful. Like, you feel like a combination between like as if your whole body is asleep, like when you get the feeling like your foot's asleep and that pins and needles, you get that feeling across your entire body, plus some burning. It's very uncomfortable, and you're going to take 1 strain. Because I'm an asshole. But you replay this memory, and then you come out of it and you're back there, and the glow, sort of dissipates from around you, and the ambassador goes, "Oh, okay. Well, good news and bad news. I guess it's multiple of both, maybe. The good news is that the investigation's over. The bad news is that I still need you all to leave. And the more bad news is that, well, just that happened, I guess."
How did IS Corp get through the blue force field?
Oh, sorry, that's the 3rd set of bad news. I don't know. Hence, you need to leave. We have not had a problem with this before. I'm guessing, again, I can't speak to this because this is the Arcane's threshold, but I'm guessing you have something to do with it, and that's not good. We've been around for millennia, and we can't. I need you guys. I'm sorry, I'm panicking just a little bit, but I need you guys to leave. Can you hurry? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can we stop by the Arcane on the way out? Like, is he holding office hours right now?
I mean, you see his robe goes up to his hood, and like he's doing this, but you can't see any of the stuff. So he's like, I guess, but maybe like 10 minutes. Is that okay? Does that work?
I guess, Dyke, you were wanting to talk to him, right? Or Zed?
Yeah, I sort of want him to like Namek Guru us, and then we can leave.
I need an adult.
I just don't go nuts.
Okay, all right. He's like, okay, so, I guess that'll be the safest place in the compound anyway. So, I guess this is okay, but let's make it quick. I'm gonna have to. I'll take you guys there. I'm gonna have to leave you there. I have some stuff that I have to do right away. And I'll come get you when it's time for you to go. Okay, is that all right? You guys ready to go? You got all your stuff? Everybody good? Ajax, you ready to go? Bark, bark, bark.
Yep.
Okay, you all ready to go? Okay, so he's gonna lead you down.
All my stuff.
He's going to lead you back down the corridor into this like circular crossroads area with the desk that you guys saw again, down a passageway you haven't been before, which heads super deep. It basically like slopes down at like a 30-degree angle, maybe even more. I don't know what's weird. I don't know. It's really uncomfortable, and it starts to spiral very much like a dungeon, but it doesn't have stairs. It's like a ramp. It's super weird. There's like flickering torchlight everywhere, and then you get to this like entry room that looks sort of like a dungeon, like guard area, where it's got like an iron portcullis and like a little side desk thing next to it, with just like a 4.5 foot tall robed figure, like really short compared to the rest of these dudes, sitting behind the desk, with basically like a calendar on the wall and like a couple sheafs of paper. And you guys walk in, and the ambassador is like, hey, they need to see the Arcane like right now. They don't have a lot of time. I need you to expedite it. And the person behind the desk sort of like looks around, looks at the calendar, sort of like gestures to the calendar, and then shrugs. And the ambassador is like, okay, yes, I understand, but this is urgent. You know that thing that happened about an hour ago? They have some information. It needs to happen like right now. And the person the one behind the desk, sort of like sits still for a second and then shrugs again, and then holds up a robe towards the portcullis, and the portcullis raises really ominously, and like grinds into the ceiling. And the ambassador says, okay, go on ahead. The Arcane will meet you through there. I'll come get you when it's time to go. Okay. You have fun. Bye. And he just turns on a dime, or on a heel, and starts walking back down the corridor. Do you guys go through the portcullis?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go into the portcullis. You enter. You enter into this big, grand, circular room. It looks sort of like an arena almost. In the center, there's this like grid-like mat that is like it's huge. It's like 50 feet by like 50-foot radius, circular mat. And there's like another, like there's a bunch of room outside that mat in the rest of the room. There are shelves of books. There are weird magical implements. You see one wall just has like 12 staves, all of like different shapes and sizes. One looks suspiciously exactly like Gandalf's white wizard staff. It's really weird, with like the white crystal in it, even with like a slight glow. It's super crazy. There's all sorts of like alchemical baubles in one corner, and a bunch of different weird stuff. There are some like test dummies for like combat, like the type you would see in like a medieval like fighty thing, but they have like scorch marks and holes blasted out of them and stuff. And in the center of the room on the mat, doing what looks like Tai Chi, is another of these robed figures with a deep cobalt blue sash around their middle, and they also have a weird like laurel, not really laurel. I guess it's kind of like a crown, but not really. It's like it's sort of like a cord crown around their head that's like golden and like drapes down the back. And they are like doing these like weird. They're not weird. They're doing like Tai Chi forms in the middle of the thing. What do you do?
I come up and say, "Hey, so I'm just looking to exponentially increase my power in, this kind of like lazy plot, convenient kind of way. I am willing to fuse with someone."
I think I read that one.
Oh my god, this is obscene. Okay, I'm gonna do something then. Because I don't want to roll myself, I'm gonna have you roll a coordination check.
Me?
Yeah. Against
Coordination.
Yeah, against let's just call it 2 reds and a purple. I'm making this up.
What is coordination?
It's based on agility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't have it, it'd just be straight agility.
Didn't you have a 2 agility?
He already shook it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's 1 success and 3 disadvantages.
Okay, cool. Okay, so as you say this, they whip around towards you and move one of their appendages very quickly towards you, and a blast of fire shoots in your direction. You jump out of the way for a moment and fall to the ground, and you're going to take 1 strain because you fall. You're not on the mat, so you fall to the ground onto the stone ground, and it's painful. And he says, you should have been expecting that."
Why should I have been expecting that?
"My name's the Arcane, dummy."
You win. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I get it.
Now you don't have a lot of time. Your name is Steve, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have
It's Tyke.
Tyke. Okay, you prefer Tyke. I will call you Tyke then. And then you are Zedekiah. You also step forward. And Carl. The 3 of you step on the corner of my mat.
Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for that. A little coffee in the wrong pipe.
Of course you weren't ready. None of you were prepared for this. My work is cut out for me. Do your worst. And he takes a battle stance.
Cup of coffee on him.
Okay. Are you doing the thing you tried to do in the tower, like throw a cup of coffee and expand it?
No,
or are you literally
I
just
throw it at him?
Okay, very cool. How hard are you?
It's not magical.
You're just literally trying to hit him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to.
Absolutely.
This is. You know what? No, I think. Let me look at something real quick. Do I have a card that I can use? Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use the past card. Victory, advantage, success, triumph. You throw this, and it smashes right into his robe, and splats all over him. And he staggers back. He's like, yes, I should have expected that. Well done.
Not prepared.
We were kind of told not to use magic, so
he's sort of like you can see his robes go like he's wiping it off, and the coffee swipes down his robe a little bit. I'm impressed. That was unexpected.
I got another one.
No, that will be fine. So, you wish to master your powers, yes?
Yeah, do you have a manual or something? A book?
I mean, I have many. And he sort of gestures, and out of these like shelves, all of these books like fly out and like do sort of like a like a I don't know, like a scary poltergeisty thing where they sort of like fly over and like pretend like they're gonna attack you and fly past. And you can see he's like watching you really carefully. How do you guys react?
I'd like to grab.
You grab one. Are any of you startled?
No, because I'm expecting the unexpected now. I get this guy.
I have to roll a dice.
Yeah, we have to play the game. Oh, no.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you could roll vigilance if you wanted.
I am not surprised.
Okay, is anybody surprised?
No, I don't think
No.
Peg's surprised at this
No.
point.
Okay, Jacob, you grab a book, and it is entitled Frogalicious.
Frogalicious?
Yeah, Frogalicious.
Okay, I want to flip it over and read the back.
Oh, that's the one Zed grabbed. Sorry, my bad.
Oh.
Yeah, Zed said he grabbed a book. Yeah, Zed, the book you grabbed is called Frogalicious.
Yeah, I'd like to open it.
It is you understand maybe a tenth of it. It is a very technical manual. You get the gist that it is an in-depth study on how to turn people into frogs and toads using magic.
I need like spellcasting 101, how not to go insane and die.
You see, upon seeing that none of you were surprised by his cool show, he like sort of slumps for a second. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, okay,
Voice.
what? Did I change my voice? I don't. Yes, no, I think this is the same voice I've been using. Unless I'm going crazy. Well, do you want the long answer or do you want the short answer?
Short answer.
It's too late. You're going to go crazy.
Well, that's.
And he turns and starts walking away.
Okay.
What if I want the long one now?
Can we at the part where I die at the end of going crazy?
Oh, well, that depends. He sort of like turns back and he's like, I mean, you did say you wanted the short answer. Well, all right. In your case, Dr. Vulcan, I think you are probably, let's see. You made a deal with the devil, eh? He sort of like, idly like lifts a robed hand, and you can see these like weird like letters appearing in the air. They're just like stuff you don't understand. He's just like idly like drawing letters. Yes. You will need to regain control. You have some power yourself, but I think you will need practice, or you might die. Yep. And what about you, the one with the brain? And he sort of looks really directly at Tyke. Yes. Ooh, you push yourself very hard. You. I would be careful if I were you. You might already be going crazy. And he like looks at you and goes like totally stark still, like he's waiting for a response.
Zed just bursts out laughing.
And when you do, you also see him chuckle. You see him like hold his gut, like laughing. Just a little. I don't know. I guess it's a joke. No. I think yes. If you keep pushing yourself, there are going to be poor effects. Magic has some strange things that it does to the body, but I don't know. I think you're relatively sound of mind.
So your suggestion to get super powerful is to quit passing out.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a good start.
Great. And I like turn around. I'm like, okay, cool.
Man, You didn't pay anything for that, and it still feels like you got ripped off.
I feel ripped off.
Now, Mr. Nelson, you're going to be fine.
I know. I would like to have some sort of grasp on a direction I'm supposed to be using these skills, though.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can offer that. And he turns around and he begins to glow with again this like deep orange light. And you see him start to grow in size. He gets to the point where he's like 10, 12, 14, 16 feet tall. He turns around and there are these deep shadows and this like light being cast. And in this incredibly like much deeper voice, he says, "You are destined to use your power to save the world." And then there's like a weird pause and he says, Is that kind of what you were looking for?
Yeah. Did that do anything?
No.
I mean, and he sort of like begins shrieking.
That's what I was looking for.
He sort of like shrinks back to his normal size. He says, "I mean, like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, you four were fated to one day rule the world with the super. It's magic, dude. Like, it works just like technology. If you were suddenly handed a phone that nobody else had, what would you say?"
I would ask how to use it, which is exactly what I'm doing to you.
No, you asked why. I think, right?
No, I asked for some direction on where I should be taking this.
Yeah.
How
Well,
I should be using it.
Well, if I came to you and I said, "Hey, I've got Google. How do I use it?" What would you say?
Google it.
Well, I'd probably ask you what form of Google you had so we could pick a direction on to where to go. Is it your phone? Is it your computer? Is it your laptop at the house? Your workstation?
Wrong guy.
What?
You asked the wrong guy. You asked Carl that question.
Oh yes, of course. Let me turn to the smart one among you. And he turns he turns in a full 360 and says, "Oh wait, that's me. I'm sorry." No, but for real, if I were to hand you a powerful tool like I don't know, a chop saw or the internet, what would you say? It's the same principle. Magic is a tool. You just happen to have a strange source for it.
I see. So you're telling us the only way to do this is to use it more.
I didn't say anything of the sort.
You told Tyke the only way for him
he
to get
actually
better
told-
was to not pass out, which means he has to use it more. That's a elemental
Well,
understanding.
actually, wait. It means he has to use it less.
Yes, my good
Yeah, I
man.
think I have to use it less.
It
Go
is
figure.
that is much closer to the truth. Yes. Now the real
If you
answer.
don't use it, you lose it.
Now, if I were to be as cryptic as my brethren, I would say you must use it just enough, but not too much. Thread the needle, walk the fine line, stay on the razor's edge, and there your power will grow. But in reality, just don't kill yourselves. It's pretty simple.
Huh. I guess I expected something more from a millennia-old master of magic.
Oh, what? I mean, do you want me to show you some cool tricks? I have some cool tricks. And he like holds up both of his arms.
Maybe there'd be some sort of background, or theory, or color wheel we could point at and use effectively.
Once he says that, and you're asking that question, he starts juggling these like brightly colored balls of fire in this cool display. I mean, yes, there's plenty of magical theory, and I can sit you and bore you with the details if you want to study for a century or two. I don't think you boys have that kind of time, though, am I right?
Are there any interesting titles on the bookshelf? Zed's gonna go look at the bookshelf.
Oh, yes.
Useful.
He's just in the middle of the conversation, doesn't answer the question, turns around and walks away to the bookshelf.
Okay, I would like each of you to come up with a title of a book.
Forced
Ooh.
perspective.
Okay, the first one you see is Forced Perspective.
Okay.
And
Ion,
Rice's Vampire Chronicles.
Yes. Okay, so on the shelf, there's just every single one of Anne Rice's book.
Yeah.
Interview with a Vampire. Every single one of Anne Rice's vampire novels is on the shelf. But they're like the first edition copies, of course, and they're a set. And they're immaculate. And then right next to them is a really like what looks like a multi-100-year-old manual that says "How to Tell a Vampire from a Normal Person 101."
Yes, I love it.
I think there's one that says Psionics and Politics, a History.
That's so good. Holy shit, that's good. Oh man. And then there's definitely a copy of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell somewhere because that's fun.
I think there's one called Magical Animal Husbandry, a guide to breeding your own chimera.
Oh yes, that's so good. Oh, it's delicious. And I think right next to it there's a guide to hatching a dragon egg in the modern era as well. And it looks like it was published like maybe 50 years ago. Is that everybody? I wasn't keeping track.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did like 3. I'm sorry. Yeah. So there and stuff like along those veins, like think if somebody was writing, obviously these probably have to do with magic, most of them, except for the obvious Anne Rice novels. But they're all along this same vein. Like either they're super dry looking technical manuals or they're just ridiculous sounding. You have no idea what the hell they are. And all the while he's juggling these fireballs still, these multicolored, like there's a green one and a blue one and a purple one and a red one and all this stuff.
Well, I'm going to grab Forced Perspective because that sounds interesting. Psionics and Politics, a History, and the Guide to Breeding Your Own Chimera.
Okay, roll me a vigilance check against 2 purple.
Okay, and my vigilance is not great. It's not great, guys. This could go badly.
It could. That's the point.
Dun, one
dun.
success.
That's it? Okay, very cool. So you are just barely able to move out of the way as a stream of these multicolored fireballs shoot past your face while you're grabbing these books. And he's like, were you planning on telling me or paying for those?
I mean, I was going to check them out. Isn't this a library?
No, the library is upstairs. This is my personal collection, you fool!
I mean, I loan books to people all the time.
Okay, but what are you giving me in return?
Well, I have this really excellent collection of Robert Jordan novels. It's called The Wheel of Time.
I've read them! They're trash! That's not how magic works! Weaving and threading and bullshit. No!
Oh, what about Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology?
Also bad. I mean, no, actually, those are very good, but they got magic very wrong also. I mean, it's mythology. It's in the name.
How about Discworld? You like
Discworld? I've read the first. Isn't that a series? I've read the first couple. If you have the last few, I might take those in return.
I mean, I just gotta go to my office.
Wait, they're in your office?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on one moment. And he raises a hand, and an orange line appears in the air, and it opens up, and it looks... Okay, so I have to say, if Zed, it sounds like Zed has read The Wheel of Time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this looks exactly like Zed would picture traveling to look, the door opening in the middle, like just a vertical slit, and then it cuts into the air, and you sort of see him see the Arcane look over at you, like kind of expectantly. You see your office appear on the other side. He steps forward and starts rummaging through your bookshelf. Oh, you've got some good stuff over here. Yes, I'll take that. And he throws the Discworld novels across. I'll take these, yes. And he just starts throwing piles and piles of books across. Ooh, this is good. Oh, this one's a little burnt, but I'll take it. Rubble. Yes, this one's good. Delicious. And he's basically taking all of your books.
Okay.
Don't let that happen.
So he sort of like once he's got a pile of like maybe a couple dozen books, he steps back through the gateway, sort of like raises his robe, and it starts to snap back into place. And he says, and he sort of looks at you said there were like 3 that you took, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he looks at the 3 in your hand, and he looks at the pile that he pulled, and he's like, that just barely pays for it. I guess I can come down. This will work. Come back when you are done with them.
Okay.
Do you boys have any other questions for me? I think your time is coming short.
Yeah, I think we gotta go.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Can I offer you any sage advice or platitudes that would help you along your way?
Nope, we got it.
If you feel like it.
Okay, I think I can summon one. Trust
Don't
in
eat yellow snow.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't
or
eat yellow
wax out.
snow. Trust in yourself above all others, and you will know the true power. Love was the power all along. The power was in you the whole time. And it's not that you guys are moving away. He's like literally like leaning back and making his voice go smaller. And he's like, I thought you guys were going to leave. Was that
Carl
not?
already did.
Yeah, Carl already did. But like, he's like, are you guys going to leave? Is that good?
I mean, I guess.
We turn
Okay.
around.
Like very awkwardly.
All right. Bye.
Mr. Bailey, can you hold back for just a moment?
Oh no.
Who?
Mr. Bailey.
Yeah. So
Oh.
don't worry. This isn't the first time I've been held after class.
Oh, no, it isn't. And he sort of does the, like, if you could see his hands in his face, he'd be doing the, like the little finger on the nose thing. It's very coy.
You're like, what?
I don't know, dude. So do you hang back while everybody else leaves?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bailey, you are an enigma. I've been wanting to learn more about you for a while. Can I poke around, as it were?
No.
Okay, asked and answered. Goodbye. And he starts to turn away.
So tight.
Why?
That's forward to.
Yeah, that's buy me a drink first. I don't like.
Hmm?
It's a very personal invasion.
Well, what do you drink?
Yingling.
I think I can rustle one up. Ooh, interesting. And he sort of like looks up into the ether and he says, I think I can even get one from your favorite bar. And you see the same like sort of like gateway thing open above his hand, and out drops a bar with, or a bottle of Yingling into his like what would be his hand if you could see it. And he hands it out to you and he says, now can I poke around?
Oh.
Can I like try to look through that hole to see if Dave has made it back to his bar yet?
It was sort of like horizontal, so you'd have to like duck under, and if anything, you would just see like the ceiling, so you can't really tell any information.
The inside of the bottle cooler.
yeah.
All right. You seem on the level, sure.
Okay, so he does a similar thing where he holds his hands up and this like orange glow sort of starts enveloping you. And this is totally not uncomfortable whatsoever. If this were the ambassador or somebody else, it might be. But you see this like aura of orange light envelop you, and there are these like weird like spikes of this orange energy that like poke in everywhere, and you can see they like run into this like weird, it's sort of like in Star Wars when you see blasters shoot an energy field, or like in specifically Phantom Menace when Qui-Gon takes his, or not Qui-Gon, it's Darth Maul, takes his saber and runs it against the energy field in the final fight area. Spoilers for a 25-year-old movie. And it sort of like gets really, really intense where he touches the saber, but then dissipates. It's very much like that. These like spikes of orange energy shoot towards you, and there's this weird like blue and emerald like force field that appears whenever one of these spikes like touches towards you. You can see that there's it's sort of this like swirling blue energy with a very, very, very small amount of this emerald also spiraling throughout it. You think like a cinnamon bun, where the blue is the actual dough and the green is like the actual flakes of cinnamon around. And you hear him go, interesting, and all sorts of this kind of stuff for like a good 25 seconds. And then it all sort of stops. And he says, yes, you are an enigma. Many interesting things.
Was the blue the same color as the Miss's eyes?
I think Goose would recognize that color just about anywhere. And at that moment, we cut to black for a moment. And we are looking at a purple ottoman. In a different room, but it's the same ottoman. We know that for sure. And I think this is at the home that you two shared for a good chunk of your time while you were enlisted. And we look back, and this is a much older Goose than we saw in the last flashback. We see you are Goose is sitting on the ottoman again, and I think you're flipping a coin again, and obviously you're waiting again. It's so similar. The only thing that's changed is the scenery, and how old Goose looks. But also, if you remember, Goose is the sort of man that looks old from when he was young. He sort of had that old look. So it even looks similar in that way. And he's flipping the coin. He's sitting the exact same position. And we hear the door open, roughly at the same time, and the same woman steps in. She's also older. She's wearing a similar dress. It's lavender with a floral pattern this time. And she walks in, and she steps towards you, and she's moving slowly, not as agilely, and she's again holding a bundle of envelopes, and she has one individual envelope in another hand, and this time it's open. And it's addressed from the VA hospital, and she hands it to you.
I take it and make another comment of, what are they trying to weasel out of paying for something again?
No, honey, I have cancer.
What?
I have cancer. It's pretty bad.
Immediately fumbles to hold her without reading it.
And the camera watches the coin fall to the ground again and sort of like settle down onto the ground. It's so similar to the previous scene. It's a little bit unnerving. And we see them embracing sort of fade into the distance as the house gets dusty. It gets old. We see sort of a time lapse as there is a for sale sign. At one point, it ages a little bit. We see Goose walk into the dining room one last time and look around. We're seeing all of this from the perspective of the coin looking into the room. And then I think Goose turns around and leaves the door, leaves the room, closes the door and locks it and walks away. We see the house a little bit longer. It's quiet and dank. We see time lapse a little bit longer. There are sheets placed over some of the furniture. We see a man in a suit come in and inspect it with some paperwork, and then he leaves, and then the door shuts. And more time passes. Could be years, it could be months. And we hear the door open one last time. This time we see a much older version of this person walking through in black pants and a business suit. They step into the dining room and they reach their hand down to pick up the coin, and they come into focus and we see the face of Goose's wife. On the lapel, there is a badge. On the lapel of her suit is a badge, and you can see just a little bit, the last few bits of it. There's a picture of her and the letters CIAPD, and we cut to black. That's where we're going to end for tonight.
Ah!
What? CIAPD?
Yeah, let me make sure that I mean that. I'll re-record it real quick if I don't. CIAPD. Yep, CIAPD. Yep. CIA:PD. Yeah, it'd be more like CIA:PD because it's not like it is super not like IS Corp. That's the one thing I will say.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like that. It looks very much like, picture an FBI badge or like a CIA badge. It looks like that, but it has the :PD after it and her picture on it.
We're gonna like slowly find out that all of our families have been like involved with like secret organizations or something somehow.
Man, whew.
Chills.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, real quick before we do the like outro, let's do the same thing Colby recommended a couple weeks ago. What is everybody's favorite character moment from the episode? You can't pick yourself, and you can't pick one everybody else has picked. Let's go.
Carl's coffee at the Arcane was wonderful.
That was very good. Mine has to be Colby's choice to make the conversation that Tyke was hearing in the glass bubble, the conversation between Carl and Goose. That was so good. It literally changed everything. Like, I had a direction I was going with that. It changed everything, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Good. I was thinking Tyke incepting IS Corp is evil.
Yep. That was really good. That was very delicious. Excuse me.
I think it was Ajax barking. It was a fluke. I just really like how we were able to like
It in.
roll that in.
Yeah.
Mine would be personally catching the hint of magic when it was played off to make the serum.
That was when he rolled a triumph on that, and I realized what was gonna happen. Man, I got chills thinking about what was gonna happen. I was so excited. Whew, that's good stuff. Was that everybody? I wasn't paying attention.
I believe so.
I was paying attention to what you guys were saying, but not like I just wasn't tracking. Like, man, I'm just still like reeling. I had to say all of that stuff, guys. Oh man. Whew, been thinking about that all day. Yeah, I guess thanks for being here, everybody. Check out our Discord, a link in the description, and also in the chat. We are at RPGs Anonymous 1 on Twitter. Come by. We answer questions in character. We'll answer any questions you have, and if you feel like it, you can submit story ideas, character ideas, magical item ideas. That's always cool. We have YouTube videos coming out. I just couldn't remember anything. We have YouTube videos coming out. The first one was published last week. We should have a couple live by the time this goes out. We have the first episode of Teaching Jacob Genesis, building a character. We should have the second one for building dice pools in Genesis coming out pretty soon too. We should be out now, building Paul Atreides in Genesis, Muad'Dib.
Recalling that one.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. There's a Thankmas charity stream on the 13th. I might remember to put the link in the description to that, and I think we are going to do a charity stream also that week. Or is that? Yeah, I think the 14th. I don't know for sure 100% how that's going, because we haven't talked about it yet. Who knows? But look forward to more information on that if it happens. Thanks everybody for coming by. Do you guys have anything else to mention? Plug, do, talk about something, anything? Question mark. All right, cool. I think that's about it then. Thanks for coming by, folks, and we'll see you in the multiverse.
Deuces.
Hey.
Hey everybody, just want to let you know real quick, there's a bit of a promo for some friends we have on Twitter. They've been very nice to us, and an after show as well, so stay tuned. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the multiverse.
Snyder's Return is a tabletop role-playing podcast featuring interviews and a D&D 5e actual play adventure, so you can learn about different game systems and content creation, while also listening to us disrupt everyday life on the Sword Coast. We release episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on your podcasting platform, so come join us as we improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Let's get right into the cool stuff. Icebreaker. Today we're going to try and do a world building icebreaker. So I want everybody to establish something that is either going on or like happening currently, or is like true about the greater Portland metro area, that might get in the way or assist or both the party while we're doing this thing. So to give the players some time to figure that out, I'm going to go first because I actually thought of mine first. Or a while ago, last week. And God, I'm so sorry that like everything looks bad, everybody. It's just it's a reality. Let's see if I can maybe I can fix that for now, for the time being. Okay, there we go. The names are wrong, but at least you can see our faces normally. Everything's gonna be weird. I'm sorry. It's just that's the nature of how we do things for now. So the thing that I came up with is right now there is a very, very large convention going on in Portland, the big Portland metro area. And it is the 10th annual TESCon. Which, for those of you that might have gotten really excited, it is not the Elder Scrolls, it is instead the Tesla convention. So there's a giant Tesla enthusiast convention going on. Everything broke again. Oh, because Jacob joined. Welcome. Cool. Okay.
I'm lost. Is that an IRL thing going on right now?
No. This is stuff where. Yeah. Welcome.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, the videos are all good now. Oh man. Whew. Just after last week, I'm like super paranoid, which was also a potential name for today's episode. We got there. So right now, the Monday. So this show started on a Wednesday. In game. So the Monday before that was the first day of a week-long convention called TESCon 2019. It's the 10th annual Tesla enthusiast and technology convention. It happens every year in Portland. I don't know if this is a real thing. I doubt it. But it is a thing that is happening. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Teslas. There are probably closer to thousands of extra Teslas in the Portland metro area. This is like what is CES? Consumer Electronics? Is that a thing? Yeah. So this is like the CES, but specifically for Teslas. So like people take and like make cool like Tesla prototype BS, and like obviously Tesla. This is where they like would showcase, in Portland specifically, they would showcase like their new models and stuff. So there are a bunch of cool and weird and difficult to trace Teslas in Portland going on. So that is the thing that I'm establishing. Anybody else that has one, go ahead.
Sounds very convenient.
It is very convenient, yes.
Wait, what are we doing?
We are, oh yeah, sorry. So since you just got here, sorry, Jacob. We are doing, for the icebreaker today, we're doing world building again. So these are just things that are like either things that are happening or things that are like true that you guys are establishing about Portland that will come into play in the next couple of sessions with you guys, like dealing with the public, like doing a whole bunch of stuff out in the world. Like it can be just about anything, just like whatever works for you.
I think Portland is the headquarters for like the tarot card reading guild or union. Like, and the union is made up of people who think it's legit, but also think it's just a con. And it's like a big like debate in the union.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
like,
why does a tarot card person need a union?
You know,
Well, they work
Working
real
rights.
jobs.
because
Come on.
they're like,
Alright.
it's like a fortune telling union.
Yeah.
Like a union of fortune tellers. I don't know.
I'm pretty
One
sure.
might call it
It-
sharecropping.
Oh my god, you're
No,
the
no.
worst.
No. Have you ever gotten in a compensation dispute with Big Circus? Like they're just not having it. They're like inadequate working conditions, inadequate pay. We have to have like some kind of pooled labor force.
Okay.
To, like,
Now
leverage against them.
I want to be super careful with this because of a couple of reasons.
Oh, do we think? I'm sorry if it's problematic. I'll retract.
No. I think our official position should be that this is an alternate reality, and all resemblance to the real reality is unintentional, except for the ways that we started. Like Portland was Portland, but like I don't want to make a position on psychics as they are, but there is an American Association of Psychics and Healers.
Okay.
The AAOP. So we can just like snatch that and say that they're like the head of them is in Portland. Let's see about AAOP and AAOH. Welcome from all members of the American.
I love when I make stuff up that I think sounds really
It's
odd
real.
or strange, and then I find out it's real. That's good stuff. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I want to see what the copyright on this page is. Copyrights 1998 to 2023 and beyond. Okay, cool. So they're current.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, they're current. Yeah, very
all
cool.
right.
I mean, I love this. Very cool. Yeah, the head of the head of the AA Sour Pulls. Robin, I don't know what you mean. The head of the AAOP is like they have a board of directors in Portland. That's where they're headquartered. I don't know where it is. It didn't look like it was in Portland from the look of their website, but that's what it is in our universe. And in our universe, psychic powers are real. I don't know. I'm not going to make a statement about what it is in the real world, but in the one we're playing in, they're real. It's fine.
Yeah, it's more definitive.
They're also real in Star Trek.
That's true. You know, you're right. Robin,
Such a
That's
hard
the
sci-fi.
science Star Trek.
Robin,
Yeah.
since you're here
The
and
hard
this is
sci-fi Star Trek.
since you're here and this is the pre-show, can you help me with this extension? Because I can't find it on the Twitch page. I can only find it in Chrome. Am I supposed to add it in the in like our Twitch dashboard as well? I'm not smart enough for this. It's a
Why am I
Chrome
not
thing.
showing up on the stream.
Oh, now you are.
Oh,
That's weird. You weren't before. Your
That-
video wasn't on in Discord for whatever reason, but now it is.
huh. That's weird.
Yeah.
I am using the web. Like for some reason, I get a runtime error when I try to install the app.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I get some weird JavaScript error.
Okay, so who is next? I think those are good additions. Right now, the TestCon 2019, the 10th annual, because the first one, of course, was in 2009, the year after the first Teslas were released. So this is the 10th annual TestCon, so it's the biggest ever, of course. And then also we have this board of directors for the AAOP, some of which know that psychic powers are real, some of which think everything's a con. But there is like a solid existence of real psychics in Portland. What else do we have?
I think
looks like we can't hear Nick.
Oh yeah.
Rage.
Was it working earlier?
It was.
It was working.
Okay. Goodbye,
There it
Nick.
And
He'll be back.
we're gonna have to just buy. We're just gonna have to buy Nick like a complete gaming,
New computer.
like a
Yeah.
whole setup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I wish I had
forget
anything
getting
to send
books.
him. Yeah, for
Mhm.
real. Hey, Gid, welcome. Good to see you.
Good.
Hello.
Good
Hi.
job.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Hey, it's working. Your video isn't yet.
So something that actually happens in Portland every May is the International UFO Festival in McMinnville. Every year in May, usually between the 13th and the
No.
25th,
No.
there's like 1,000 people show up in McMinnville for the UFO Festival. And since Goose put out his little video, I think everybody really hyped up in McMinnville.
Yeah, so
Wow.
in canon, we're in March, the middle of March for this. So I think what happens is in the fictional universe, this happens in March, not in May. So I think that absolutely has to be going on. Okay, so what kind of event is this? Is it like a 1-day thing or like a weekend thing or like what goes on?
It's like
a weekend, and
Yeah.
the pictures are hysterical.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. I mean,
Okay.
I don't look good, but
There's a parade, and there's a lot of cosplay.
Oh, my
and,
God.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
it's a thing.
Okay, yeah. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, I think
feel
that's
like that totally looks like a thing Tyke went to.
I mean,
Definitely, they made big money there.
well, how long have you been friends with Goose also? Because that is totally something Goose would probably go to, right? Am I right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I don't think we go there together though. I feel like we're there for different reasons.
Editors. Add a new editor. Robin, your Twitch username is just, I know I have it. I finally found the thing you were talking about. I forget what your Twitch username is for this stuff. Again, I'm so dumb sometimes. You can send, I don't care if you send it in the chat or whatever. It's just, hi, is that just it? Oh, this is Twitch. Guys, did you know that the chat is Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know the chat was Twitch? I did.
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment of silence for
What?
my absolute idiocy. I was asking him his username while literally looking at his username. I'm so bad. I'm mad. I'm angry.
What's your username?
What's your username? Literally looking at it.
You at him asking for it.
Yeah. Oh my god. So
To make you
really,
feel better. In Portland, I would say that the new raging social sport would be polo bicycle.
Nice.
There you go.
Wait, is that a real sport people play?
I doubt it.
I've seen it. So yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Screw me then. Okay, Robin, you're an editor. I'm gonna leave that in your hands. I don't know how to do anything with it. Have fun. I'm gonna forget that that's a thing. So canonically, we're in day 3 of this phenomenon in game. Day 1, when we met the boys and everything, was Wednesday, March 20th at 2:58 p.m. That's when everything went down. So it's Friday in the middle of the day now of that week.
Is this 2019?
Yes, it's 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also whether true or false is DM's discretion, but there's word going through the entire city that more of those monsters are coming towards the city, and over like IS Corp in this area looks like they might be overrun by them. That is just a rumor that everyone's passing around.
Okay.
Maybe causing like civil panic. Or
Wait, is that a rumor we started?
No, it's not. It's not. You guys have not
okay.
started that rumor.
Okay.
By the way, I apologize for the keyboard sounds. I'll make sure during the actual show that won't happen, but during this, I got to take notes on all this BS. TestCon 2019, 10th annual. What was the extraterrestrial gathering thing called?
It's called the UFO Festival.
Okay, UFO
creative.
Festival. So it's Friday. You have 8 hours. The first day of this UFO festival, 100% is Saturday. That's like, it has to be. I mean, just how things have aligned, it's too perfect. So, that 8-hour ticker ends literally at midnight on the day, or like, I guess 12:01 or whatever, on the day, Saturday of the start of the UFO festival. So that's the in-game reason why Goose chose that timer, I guess. Cool.
Can I want to look straight at Fitz and say, like, can you look in, like, hack into the system of, I don't know, city government, find blueprints for IS Corp?
What? Okay, wait. Why are you asking this?
We need to plan. We're going into IS Corp.
We
Right?
haven't started the episode yet, Colby.
What?
We're still in the pre-show. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was literally panicking.
Also, like,
I want to get going, dude.
Okay,
You hyped
got it.
up so much.
Okay, cool, got it. All right, let me finish these notes. We can pull a couple tarot cards, and we'll get right smack dab into it. Good.
I did remember to bring them.
Okay, AAOP Board of Directors HQ. Current fad sport is polo unicycles.
No, cycle polo, not
Cycle-
unicycles.
okay,
Oh my gosh,
sorry,
that's insane.
sorry.
I
Cycle
said
polo.
bicycles.
Bicycle.
Unicycles.
My God.
I now really
Forgive
want to
me.
see unicycles, though.
Okay, all right. Can it be unicycle polo?
I already posted a picture of cycle polo.
Okay,
but
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Nick smashed me
Okay.
with Darth Vader on a unicycle.
There's
so-
there's like a sub. There's like a what do they call, a sub convention or whatever? What do they call, a sub league that is just unicycles? Yeah. So there's like the bicycle polo league, and then there's a sub league that's just unicycles. There's like 4 teams.
I
or
like to
whatever.
think they do like dance offs, like settle
It's
turf
polo.
beats.
Okay. I think I forgot one. TestCon.
They
You
can't
have
play each other.
yeah.
It'd be
You,
different leagues.
I would like to personally dedicate this stream to Darth Vader. Thinking of
oh yeah,
David's
David.
suggestion.
Yeah, David. What's his
Prowse,
last?
I think is
Yeah,
how you
Prowse.
pronounce it.
David
Yep.
Prowse.
Yeah, passed away this week.
Yeah,
The body actor for Darth Vader.
yeah, an absolute badass.
Hmm.
Problematic situation, but still, like, we love him and we'll miss him. So I have TestCon 2019, the UFO Festival. The AAOP Board of Directors is based in Portland. The current fad sport is cycle polo, and I feel like I'm missing one. Did somebody say something that I'm forgetting now?
Wait, run through the list one more time.
TestCon, UFO Festival, the American Association of Psychics Board of Directors, and the fad sport of is cycle polo. But that's only 4 people, and there are 5 of us.
What
Oh,
was
did you?
Yours was the TeslaCon.
Yep.
Did Carl do one?
Carl did the
Cycle
polo. Zed did the UFO thing. So yeah, Goose still has to pick one. Did you pick one? I don't remember.
Yeah, there is a rumor spreading through the crowd.
Right,
Oh,
that
right,
one.
the
Yeah. There are more.
Oh my
Yes. That is the big one too. Rumor of horrors on their way to Portland.
I like how they're still doing the UFO conference,
Of course.
even with the rumor.
The horror
Yeah.
aliens.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe like this happened, and so they just freaked out so much that they bumped up their convention 2 months.
Dude, yeah. Okay, let me do a quick pass on the cameras because Zed's is now all borked, and then we can start. Yeah, Gid, this is a weird place to come in. I know you've been to at least one of these before, but we're a weird bunch. We're playing tabletop RPGs. Basically, we're like doing role playing, and it's pretty cool. So welcome. We have, if you want to get caught up, you can check out our, we have links in the Discord to our YouTube channel, which has all of the back episodes, and you can find us on any podcatcher as well. We have our back episodes there as well, and you can go straight to the RSS as well at rpgsanonymous.podiant.co. podiant.co. Sorry, I'm multitasking, so that's why I sound so weird right now.
And thanks for joining the Discord, Gid.
Yeah, thanks for joining the Discord. We appreciate you. We ready to get into it?
Oh yeah,
I
we
know
were ready
Colby
before
is.
you were.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate all of you.
Colby's clearly ready.
Hey, Colby, you want to start this thing off?
Okay. All right, Colby, you're the. Okay, I need 3 full seconds of silence, and then I'll get into it. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go.